What is up, my brothers and sisters? So today we would be watching. Hold on, let me do this. We will be watching. Not these. No. No. Hold on. No. You'll not see my YouTube. No. Dang it! I don't know what to watch. A reaction. Maybe a Vanoss video. Nah. KSI? No. Adventure Time. Yeah, that's child friendly. Jet cheesy. No, just kidding. Alright, let's get it! Full screen if we can. Uh-oh. What's going on? Can you not full screen that? Dang it! Oh well. Can I move this? Okay, good. I was mad. But
Adventure Time has officially reached its epic finale. And boy, there was a lot to unpack in that 44-minute episode.
it was amazing.
Whether you're an old fan who was left confused by some newer plot threads, or a die-hard Adventure Time expert, making sure you caught all the Easter eggs, Nerdwire is here for all your post-finale episode dissection needs. I'm Chris Carr, and this is the Adventure Time Finale Explained.
I'm doing a vid, see? I'm doing a video
Come
for my
Along
channel.
With Me opens with two brand new characters that feel eerily similar to Jake and Finn. Not only do Shermie and Beth the Dog Princess mirror our favorite duo and embody the episode's deeper themes, which we will touch on later, but they likely are actual future incarnations of our heroes. Some fans believe that these two are merely just descendants of Finn and Jake, but in Season 6, we learned that Finn is destined to be reincarnated generation to generation as a major player in the fate of Ooh. There is strong evidence to support that Jake reincarnates as well, meaning it's highly probable that Shermie and Beth are future versions of the two. Be it literal or metaphorical, Shermie and Beth are clearly spiritual successors to the Adventure Time duo, and are shown to carry on Finn and Jake's legacy of going on adventures where the fun will never end by the end of the episode. The intro also includes a brief cameo of the Ice Thing, who we first saw in Grables 1000, and learn later in this episode is actually a transformed version of Gunter the Penguin fused with the Ice King's crown. By the end of the episode, we learn that the Ice Thing's third gem fell out and was used to propose to Turtle Princess. But in the future, it appears the gem is now possessed by a dog unicorn wizard trying to stop the Ice Thing. It's probable that this wizard is also a descendant of Jake and Lady Rainicorn. Come Along With Me's intro also shows two decrepit statues, one in memory of Finn, and the second possibly of Jake. There's also a gravestone that reads Finn and Jer, possibly suggesting that Finn and Jake's brother Jermaine were buried together at the foot of these monuments. Not even past the title card, and we get one more peek at the future of Ooh with Shermie and Beth riding on top of an enlarged Sweet Baby Pea. If you haven't followed Adventure Time in a few years, you might not know that Sweet Baby Pea is actually a purified version of the Lich that Finn and Jake leave in the care of tree trunks to raise. Over the course of 1,000 years, Sweet Baby Pea has grown into a massive giant and has shown zero signs of reverting to his evil ways. He also sports Finn's night sword, suggesting that Finn might have possibly trained Sweet Baby Pea to be a heroic adventurer. Once the episode actually starts, Shermie and Beth come into possession of Finn's arm in the ruins of the Great Gummoor. While researching the arm, Beth opens up a book written by T. Princess. T. Princess is none other than Turtle Princess, the caretaker of Ooh's library. Beth convinces Shermie to seek out the King of Ooh on top a future version of Mount Cragdor, the mountain featured in the Season 1 episode, The Enchiridion. The King of Ooh is none other than Bimo, whose home is filled with a bevy of Easter eggs. These Easter eggs include the Ice King's drum set, wrapped up Blockrod's helmet, Lumpy Space Princess's horrifyingly large star gem, LSP's BFF Melissa's license plate, Simon's glasses, Marceline's no smoking shirt, one of Finn's speech cards from the episode Shh, a universal translator used by Lady Rainicorn, Jake's golden tooth from the Gut Grinder episode, Jake's mother's music box, Jake's viola, a prismgram, a copy of the horribly bad dating guide Mind Games, AMO's remains, and likely a few hundred more Easter eggs that you'll have to super zoom in to identify. When Bimo regales Shermie and Beth with the story of the Great Gummoor, he mentions that Gumbald is angry because Princess Bubblegum is his niece and mother, referencing the fact that PB created Gumbald in a science experiment. While scouting out the battlefield, Finn and Jake see Normal Man, Betty, and Naja. Normal Man used to be the Class A Dillweed Magic Man before the Ice King's time-traveling fiancé absorbed his powers. As we see more in the second half of this episode, the Ice King's old fiancée, Betty, has become mad with power in her efforts to return him back to his human form. To enhance her powers and harness the powers of the extra-dimensional being Gulb, Betty uses Maja as a magic battery. Yet remember Maja as the witch who took Hambo from Marceline, or from her attempts to conquer Oo before being put into a coma by the ancient psychic tandem war elephant. Inside Princess Bubblegum's war tent, Slime Princess can be seen wearing a samurai helmet, much like the previous slime elemental Slimy D. Later that night, Marceline tries to sway PB away from war. We see a brief flashback to the Mushroom War, the nuclear holocaust Marcy witnessed firsthand as a child over 1,000 years prior to the events of Adventure Time. When Jake and Finn discuss alternative peacekeeping options that night, Finn pulls out the nightmare juice he received from Nightmare Princess at the start of Season 9. When used, it puts those exposed to its contents into a shared dreamlike state. When Finn makes his final plea to Princess Bubblegum, he tells her that they've been friends for a long time. When saying this, PB is reminded of her old friend Shoko, who also happens to be Finn's previous incarnation. The focus of this flash memory is Finn and Shoko's mechanical arms, both of which PB invented as a token of friendship. Jake and Finn use the nightmare juice to open the minds of Princess Bubblegum, her Uncle Gumbald, and Fern, Finn's doppelganger possessed by the demon in Finn's old friend. While Jake is experiencing a full-on mushroom trip with his brother, wife, and children, Finn, PB, Fern, and Gumbald battle it out on the psychic plane. Finn transforms into a blue butterfly, a reference to his very first incarnation on Earth. Jake unearths Finn's vault of repressed memories first seen in Season 5, and 4 specters of torment are released. The first is the Lich, Finn's mortal enemy. The second, Princess Bubblegum, Finn's unrequited love. The third is a grass demon form of Finn's absentee criminal father Martin. And the fourth being Susan Strong, Finn's friend who he hospitalized and in the process created Fern. Together, Finn and Fern enter the vault to defeat the grass demon holding Fern hostage. But without the grass demon powers to give him physical form, Fern begins to, "Mr. Finn, I don't feel so good." Meanwhile, Princess Bubblegum and Gumbald re-experience the moment when Princess Bubblegum was forced to turn Gumbald into a lobotomized servile candy person. The roles are reversed this time, and Princess Bubblegum is hit with dum-dum juice and becomes a candy person. As a candy person, PB realizes that she still has intelligent and conscious thoughts, but can only express herself with a goofy song and dance. This realization causes her to reevaluate the centuries where she kept Gumbald in his candy person state. On the other side of the coin, Gumbald discovers that building a kingdom is more stressful and challenging than it seems. These epiphanies bring the two to a point of mutual acceptance, for a total of 2 minutes at least. As the Great Gum War comes to a conclusion, Betty inadvertently summons Golb, a deity of chaos. Golb is an extra-dimensional being of unrivaled power in the Adventure Time universe, and his presence brings death and destruction. The Ice King is able to reach Betty by channeling the feelings he has for his fanfiction character Fiona. This is probably a debatable interpretation, but the scene reads like Simon's true form is able to reach out to Betty but is ultimately held back by his corrupted Ice King side, as opposed to solely singing towards Fiona. After Betty, the Ice King, and Finn get swallowed by Golb, Princess Bubblegum is seemingly killed by one of Golb's mutated abominations. This sends Marceline in a rage, and she's able to tap into the pure vampire essence she absorbed from the Vampire King at the end of the Stakes miniseries. After pulverizing PB's assailant, Bubblegum and Marcy share a tender kiss that confirms a romantic ship that the show has been teasing since Season 2, but was unable to make explicit due to censorship and fear of cancellation. As Golb's 2 monsters head towards the kingdom, Jake pursues in a blue form. This blue form is Jake's true form, because he's actually part shapeshifter, which is where his abilities to stretch originates. Finn and Jake's treehouse is destroyed during battle, and just as all hope seems lost, everybody's favorite singing Game Boy saves the day with song. In unison, the inhabitants of Oo work together in literal harmony to weaken Golb, which, side note, is an incredibly heartwarming way to honor the show's deep history of song, and also defeat a bad guy without going Super Saiyan and using brute force to secure a win. Inside Golb, Finn, Betty, and the Ice King are digested down to their most basic forms, stripping away Betty and the Ice King's magic. Due to this, the Ice King's crown is reverted back to its original form, an artifact imbued with incredible wish-granting magic. Simon and Betty are finally reunited, but in order to save Simon, Betty uses the wish-granting crown to merge with Golb. Her initial attempts of wishing Golb to be destroyed fail because Golb is beyond destruction. In fact, he is the manifestation of destruction, and wishing him out of existence creates a paradox. However, by wishing for the power to save Simon, Betty is able to become one with Golb and redirect his pathway away from Oo. When Betty/Golb leaves, the crown falls into the flippers of Gunter, leading Jake to exclaim that he'll become an evil alien. This is referring to the fact that Gunter is an actual evil space entity known as the Orgalorg trapped in the body of a penguin. But, as we've discussed, Gunter uses the crown to become the Ice Thing. This brings the Ice King's crown full circle, as it was initially used by another character named Gunther to become more like his ice-wielding master. In the aftermath of the battle, Finn and Jake plant fern seeds at the remains of the treehouse, and it grows into a tree with a sword embedded in its branches. This sword is the Finn sword, a weapon forged from another dimension's fin, and the core of Fern's soul. Over the next 1,000 years, this tree grows to massive heights and has been seen in the distance several previous episodes that take place in the future. Fast forward to the end of the episode, and Finn and Jake are reflecting by the music hole, a sentient singing hole that can only be heard by the pure, innocent, or those who have experienced great loss. In previous episodes, Jake has been unable to hear the hole's music, but after the events have come along with me, he's experienced the great loss necessary to interact with the hole. Likely, the loss is the treehouse and his memories associated with it, or Fern. As the music hole sings Come Along With Me, we're treated to a montage showing the Adventure Time characters continuing on with their adventures. Of these, there are some notable details. Firstly, Simon is on a quest to recover Betty from Galb, as he's seen working with the Wishmaster Prismo and failing to wish her back. This mirrors Magic Man's attempts at rescuing his wife Margles from Galb, who Prismo also couldn't return. The second fun detail is that the cloud person Carol has experienced the water cycle and is now Water Carol. She's seen drawing elves, which she's previously mentioned as being a favorite hobby of hers. Thirdly, Finn is visited by his mother and other humans. The show then ends with Shermie and Beth climbing Fern's tree to pull the Finn sword, signifying the start of a brand new set of new adventures. Ultimately, this is what the Adventure Time finale is all about. The celebration of stories and the notion that there's always going to be adventures worth telling. Be it episodes like Greybles or Jake the Brick, Adventure Time often finds success in telling slice-of-life stories of every inhabitant of Ooo alongside the bigger adventures. And when it comes to Finn and Jake's further adventures, the show is left open-ended. Because, as BMO puts it, they keep living their lives. At the end of the day, I find that Marceline's song Everything Stays summarizes the finale's message succinctly. Its lyrics go, everything stays, but it still changes, ever so slightly, daily and nightly, in little ways. This is to say that life may move on, but there will always be adventures. Be they from Finn and Jake, Shermie and Beth, BMO and Banana Man, or LSP and Lemongrab.
Oh!
The trappings of these stories may change, but at their core, they're the same. Adventure Time the show might be ending, but in some shape and form, the fun will never end. If you want to learn more about Adventure Time, be sure to check out the videos on screen. And I want to hear your thoughts on the finale in the comments. Did you love it? Hate it? Did you find any Easter eggs I missed? Let me know. Thank you for supporting Nerdwire. See you later, Space Cowboys.
That was funny. I'm just kidding. That was pretty cool. I knew most of the stuff because I watched Adventure Time a lot. Like, I used to watch it a lot. Hold on, let me check something.